Cliff Schecter. Good morning. He has a wildly popular new YouTube channel called Takedown with Cliff Schecter. Why? Because he's a alpha liberal, people. Good morning, Cliff.
Thank you. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good.
Well, yeah. I'm good. Earlier morning over there.
Yes. But we were just talking about, I think that's getting more and more popular, sort of alpha. We just played some Eric Swalwell, alpha liberal. I think many of us are learning how to punch back, right? Like Biden's ratings are up. There are Democrats that are, really out there, I think, vocalizing everything that Biden and the Democrats are getting done. And Republicans offer nothing.
Well, I mean, when I came on here in the past, we would sort of have a group misery party about why can't Democrats do this? Why can't you always comment when there's negative things about them and jump in instead of offering no comment, like they've raided Mar-a-Lago, no comment. But we've gotten so much better at talking about what Biden's doing. We've gotten so much better, and they have. I mean, to me, and I hope it ends up being a seminal moment in this campaign when their White House account tweeted out the PPP loans that each of these SOBs, these complete hypocritical liars who, I didn't tell these students who just want to take money and have no accountability, and then you find out that Chuck Grassley's sitting there on his farm, 112 years old, with his pipe, and he's sitting there just collecting government money. He never pays back. None of these guys ever do, but it's okay. They're white, so they don't have to. And I mean, the fact that they went to the White House account, that they did that, the fact that Biden, people were like, why did he say semi-fascist? And I was like, guys, keep your eye on the ball. He used the word fascist in there. That's the word people are going to remember. It was uncomfortable for him to even get to that place. We're getting there. And, Eric Swalwell and these guys have been doing it all the time. And I remember what I said on here also was, it is contagious. When you see courage from other people who are not willing to take their crap, who aren't going to sit there and be cautious and go by the old rules of, well, that was not nice. And, Ruben Gallego deserves credit. I mean, there's too many to go through.
Well, and can I say the White House account?
The last one, Beto and the MFer.
Yes.
That was huge.
Yes. But the White House account that you were just talking about, can I just say, girl from Jersey. Who's my new girlfriend? A girl from Jersey. If you want someone to have your back, get a girl from Jersey. She's running the new White House account, but that was fantastic. Going Marjorie Taylor Greene, here's your loan forgiveness, right? Republican. That's how you punch back on this hypocrisy.
It is.
No, I was going to point out also with the anti-fascist thing that you're talking about there was an argument on Fox News yesterday where I can't remember who it was saying that they said anti-fascist, or he's calling our party fascist. He's like, no, he singled out the MAGA Republicans as fascist. They corrected it. But Jamie Harrison was on Face the Nation yesterday morning. Jamie Harrison, who will join us tomorrow morning in the first hour of the show.
That was a fantastic plug.
He was on Face the Nation yesterday, and the anchor said to him, he's like, but do you think that him saying anti-fascist,
is it just rude?
Is this like they're comparing it to the basket of deplorables moment? And Jamie Harrison just said, he's like, what do you mean? They are acting like fascists. If they are acting like fascists, they're semi-fascists. That's what they are.
Good for him. Good for him.
I mean,
is it rude to Hitler, Cliff? What do you think?
I know. I hate when we're mean to Pol Pot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible to me that these jackaloons like Ted Cruz wake up every day and say, oh, they're communist. Oh, they're socialist. Oh, they kill babies. Oh, I mean, think of the stuff these guys say about us every day, all the time.
Yeah.
And they whine and cry when you use semi-fascist or any term like that about them. Yeah. Keep doing it. And let them whine and cry.
And we were just saying, Adam Kinzinger making the same point you and I were just making before the break about right-wing humor. Not funny. I don't mean punching down, you don't even get it. Here he is talking about.
Somehow in the Republican Party, the crueler you are, the more likely you are to win a primary. So Blake Masters, for instance, can erase his website all he wants and now pretend like he's some soft on this guy. Yeah. But he isn't, because he used it to win a primary. And so, I think Republicans are in real trouble because we have no leadership. This is the problem, Chuck. So Kevin McCarthy isn't leading. He's asking, what does Marjorie Taylor Greene want me to do? Mitch McConnell's just trying to save the Senate. He's probably not going to do that. We have no leaders. And no wonder our base basically believes everything Donald Trump said.
That's what I was saying about, Mitch McConnell's absolutely right. The quality of their Senate candidates suck because they went with Donald Trump's picks, right?
Correct. Well, I mean, there's so many off-ramps, from the grab him by the you-know-what video to the first impeachment where, McConnell wouldn't step up. By the way, when Obama invited McConnell to step up with him and point out the Russians were helping Trump, refused to do it.
Right.
Second impeachment, when apparently McConnell was going to vote to convict, then backed off and said, oh, he'll just go away. Yeah, Donald Trump will just go away. They empowered him. It would have been tough for them at the time. They would have had a fight in their party. They would have lost some people, but longer term, they would have been healthier. Instead, at every turn, they let this guy off the hook. They empowered him. So what happened? Like, he didn't pick the best candidates. He picked the ones that are loyal to him and remind him of himself, which means mentally unbalanced, cheeseball fame, Mehmet Oz, the pill-pushing doctor, and Herschel Walker, 100 years ago, football player who can't put a sentence together. And, these are the people he picked.
It's funny you should bring that up. We have another episode of What the Hell Herschel, because he said they're not talking about me when they say.
Senate races are just different. They're statewide. Candidate quality has a lot to do with the outcome.
What was your personal reaction to that comment, Herschel?
Well, my reaction to that is I didn't hear my name in that comment.
And I like pudding. Okay, the Herschel Walker thing is it's sad.
Yeah.
They
have a bad candidate there.
Yeah, he's awful. I'd have more sympathy if he hadn't put a gun up to his wife's head and threatened to blow her head off. But he's mentally, he's not there for whatever reason. Whether it's punch drunk, I can't think of the term. That he's suffered like football players, or whether it's just other issues. But JD Vance here is a little troll-looking fascist who can grow a beard all he wants. He still looks like, he came out of like a Dungeons and Dragons game and like says just the stupidest things in the world. And, Tim Ryan's got a great shot at beating him. Ted Budd from North Carolina. Trump picked people based on what fascists do. Yeah. Oh no, did I say it? Am I bad?
Oh no.
Loyalty, crony capitalism, and people that remind him of himself. He didn't look at all these, he didn't look at them like McConnell would, who only cares about power, and say who's most likely to win. But again, that is McConnell's fault. That is all of their fault.
What's your feeling on the House? There was a story we were just reading from earlier. I get it that all the trend lines are running against us, but I still feel like there is a good chance we're going to keep the House. What do you think?
I do, and I hadn't felt that way until recently. But there's a number of, look at that, what happened in that New York 19 seat on a primary day when nobody's expected to turn out. That's the other thing is McConnell empowered Trump to pick these terrible candidates, and he did. But the other thing is the dog finally caught the car. They kept stealing Supreme Court seats and putting on Opus Dei religious lunatics, and eventually they didn't just do what McConnell hoped they do, which is act like they're going to overturn abortion. They did. And now all sorts of women, including many Republican women, are turning out in places like Kansas to vote it down. And they turned out in New York 19, a race we were supposed to, polls said we were down 8 points and we won. So I am, a number of the more reasonable, let's call them Republicans who voted for Trump's impeachment. He's supported nutty primary candidates. So they've either retired or they've been kicked out. And that's put a number of seats that should have been safe Republican out there for us to potentially win. I do. I think with Biden just hit 44%. He's now in the mid 40s. If he can get himself even up into the high 40s, you combine that with the crazy Supreme Court and the coup and the Espionage Act and every dumb thing that comes out of Herschel Walker's mouth, Marjorie Taylor Greene's mouth, Paul Gosar's mouth. It's just a melange of stupid every day and insanity. So, I think we have a really good chance.
Yeah, and I'm still getting my head around that 3 Supreme Court seats were appointed by a traitor to the United States. Just, coincidentally talking about the Espionage Act. But
we're quibbling,
Yeah. By the way, speaking of Supreme Court justices, could you take your organ out for me, please?
Right away.
Yeah, you know that your religion is misogynistic when all the women cry, apparently every day. Leaked video of a recent event hosted by People of Praise. That's the secretive...
That's Amy.
Christian sect to which Amy Coney Barrett belongs, shows one of its leaders admitting that the group's teachings drove women into tears. It shows Dorothy Ranahan, is that the wife of founder Kevin Ranahan, telling members that women who first made a covenant to join People of Praise in the 70s cried intensely in response to teachings about their roles in leadership with men. Amy Coney Barrett lived with them while she was at law school at Notre Dame. A former group member.
It's just a fun, normal dorming experience.
And
like any of us would have.
Apparently the leader exerted almost total control over her when she lived in the family's household, made all her decisions about dating and finances. So she's in a crazy Christian cult, as Yeah, very soothing. Isn't it?
It makes some sense because if you think about it, which a lot of people don't even know, is that Roe versus Wade was passed in '73,
Yeah.
and in 1974 was actually the first year women could get a credit card without the permission of a man. So those two things totally weren't connected. And abortion totally isn't about controlling women. And Amy Coney Barrett totally didn't join a place where men could control her every decision, and doesn't obviously see that as the way all women should be.
Yeah, yeah.